Good morning and welcome to the DFS Army YouTube channel. I am Razzle11 and you can find me on X at Razzle11Grinds. We are going to take a look at some pitching for today. It is Monday, the 27th of May. Happy Memorial Day to everybody. We have an 8-game main slate to look at. As always, remember that this is a first look at the pitching options for the day. And I will be looking at DraftKings since that's where a majority of my action is. When it comes to FanDuel, my pitcher pool is much smaller as we do not have to be as creative. Stack pricing for hitters is less tight, or I guess a little easier to build around. We do have some potential weather in Atlanta, New York, Minnesota, and Baltimore. So we do have to pay attention to all of these. But right now, it's not looking like too much of a PPD risk, but there are some in-game delay risks, which definitely messes with pitching. But for now, we'll try to look over the pitchers as if all of them were going to play and be fine. So at the top, we get Joe Ryan. Hasn't been as consistent as last year early on. He's coming off of a great start against a Washington squad that generally doesn't strike out, but it's not an overly dangerous Washington lineup. Uh, has had some struggles at home over his last couple starts. Started out the year against Kansas City and was solid. He is a minus 162 favorite. Game total of just 7.5. K prop of 5.5 with juice on the over. I think on this slate he becomes very viable. If we had some stronger pitching options overall, he might be somebody that I look to fade actually, even though I am a Twins fan. Uh, Royals offense, I don't remember, like exactly how their week has gone, but they have put up some runs in some games over the last week to 10 days. So, um, but again, Minnesota is one of those weather issues. Um, but I still think we plan as if everything is going to go as normal. Um, so Joe Ryan definitely going to be in play for me. Nick Lodolo, kind of have to dig in a little bit. I'm not sure if he went on a rehab assignment or not. Obviously, we see through an extended bullpen last Wednesday. So my guess is he probably did not, because Wednesday would have been the day to make a start, given that he's starting today. I like Lodolo's upside. Do have some worries, obviously. I'm not seeing a K prop for him just yet, but he is a minus 135 favorite. Game total of 9. One thing that interests me a little bit, not that it's a huge travel or anything for St. Louis, but they played late last night against the Cubs due to the long rain delay. If this game was earlier, I'd really like Lodolo, but it is a little later afternoon. I still like Lodolo's upside, but we do have to worry about pitch count issues. Maybe I don't think we should. I think he should be good for 80 to 90 pitches, but unless we hear something, I'm just gonna plan on playing him fine. Uh, Definitely love the upside. Not sure what his career numbers are against a team like St. Louis. We get Charlie Morton against Washington. We know Washington isn't a big strikeout team, but Morton's a minus 205 favorite with a K prop of 5.5, and juices on the over in that K prop. Um, I think Morton's perfectly strong option. Uh, the one worry I do have with the Braves is kind of the hangover effect after Acuna tore his ACL yesterday. But it is a veteran team, so I would assume that that locker room is kind of coming together a little bit. So maybe it won't affect them quite as much. But Morton seems like one of the safer options on this slate. And we know that he does have enough upside. So he's definitely going to be one of the most popular pitchers on the slate. Going to Gavin Stone here. K prop of 4.5, juice on the under. Had been really solid up until his last start. He's not a huge K guy. Um, Probably going to be in play. He is a minus 155 favorite in this one, but he's not somebody that I plan to go super heavy on. Um, but he might be a good, decent GPP pivot away from Chris Bassett. Uh, Bassett taking on the White Sox yet again, just kind of dominated them. His K numbers just have not been there this year, which is something that worries me a little bit. He's a minus 198 favorite. Game total is sitting at 9 right now. Um, I mean, Toronto is one of my favorite stacks on the slate. K prop of 5.5, but juice is on the under. So, Stone or even Alec Marsh might be a GPP pivot off of Bassett at higher ownership, but Bassett definitely has to remain in the pool. Marsh been pretty solid, been really good on the road from a hits allowed and everything, K rate, all that stuff, but he does allow home runs. Biggest thing for him is he's pretty solid reverse splits pitcher. So I have to pay attention because Minnesota's a pretty heavy lineup. His K prop's at 4.5. Juice pretty strongly on the over. You did mention under Ryan Marsh will be an underdog, but game total of just 7.5. I think he's an extremely viable GPP play and a GPP pivot off of Bassett um, on this slate. Not really taking Criswell against Baltimore. Cole Irvin maybe against Boston. Uh, Last couple outings haven't been very good, but the three prior to that, very strong. Um, Re-entering the rotation, normal rest, so I think he should be fine. I think there's some upside in him. Uh, I wonder if people are going to overlook him. He's a minus 162 favorite. Game total is kind of high though at 9. K prop of just 3.5 with juices strongly on the over. I think he's intriguing enough. He's shown the ability to put up mid 20s in fantasy points. Uh, and those that have been watching my content for a while know that I'm really looking for, 20 plus out of my pitchers. I don't really care about a value return. I want raw points from pitching. So Cole Irvin probably does have a route to being an SP2 on this slate. Tyler McGill certainly has K ability. Um, Dodgers lineup hasn't been as strong recently, but it's such a tough matchup. His K prop's just 4.5 with juice on the under. He is obviously a slight dog. Uh, I don't know if he's going to make my pool, uh, but he's somebody that I'm going to consider. It's kind of a dart, maybe like a 10% dart play if I get there. Really, the only other guy that I'm going to consider down here is going to be Gosser. I just think he's like K's are going to come at some point after his strong debut. Uh, he just hasn't been striking anybody out, but he's been such a huge strikeout pitcher in his minor league career that I think at some point they're going to turn around. And we know the Cubs lineup has actually been struggling recently. So I think there's some upside here. His K prop's just 3.5 with juice on the over. He's a minus 122 favorite in this one over Justin Steele. Uh, so I am going to go with Gosser. Steele just hasn't been right, allowing home runs, a lot of runs. As much as I like Justin Steele as a pitcher, I'm just not taking him today. Maybe he finally turns it around, but Gosser's going to be the guy, the cheap guy that I'm going to take some darts with uh, this afternoon. I don't think I'm going to take Austin Gomber. His last handful of starts have been really strong. One of them even at home. The issue is the Cleveland team just is not a huge strikeout risk, so I think I'd just rather gamble with Gosser, even though he hasn't been showing strikeouts. His minor league career has been built off of being a strong strikeout guy. So, but there we have it. There's my first look at pitching on the slate. If you enjoy what I bring to you, please hit the like button. hit the subscribe button, turn the notification bell on, get the alert anytime we drop videos here at DFS Army. And if you want to get access to our coaches, tools, sheets, Discord, etc., I'll put links in the description below. You can use promo code RAZ, that's RAZ, for 10% off monthly. And as always, best of luck, everybody.